Hello YouTube, and welcome to a very special holiday edition of Rob's Arcade. As per usual, I'm your host Rob, and I bet you're all wondering, why is it snowing in the arcade? Well, I've got a special guest stopping by in a few minutes, and I just want him to be as comfortable as possible. You see, the special guest and I get together every Christmas, and we watch the greatest Christmas movie ever made. Oh, here he is now, Frosty! You bring it? Oh, you the man, Snowman.
Happy birthday!
Player 2s, I hold in my hand the greatest Christmas movie ever made. Die Hard. Now, I know some people are going to say that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, but in my opinion, it is the greatest. Unfortunately for some of my younger Player 2s, this movie's rated R. It might be a little bit too much, but I've got something that my Player 2s are going to enjoy just as much as this movie. Let's check out what we're going to be drawing this episode. Hadouken! That's right, Player 2s. On this episode, we're going to be drawing Frosty the Snowman. And then when we're done with that, we're going to head on down to the Classic Games Showcase, fire up the old Super Nintendo, and play Daze Before Christmas, which is an awesome Santa Claus themed game that was never released in the United States. So how about we check our supplies, I go and dig out some blankets because I'm freezing in here, and then we can get started with our class. Jeez. Okay, Player 2s, let's get started drawing Frosty the Snowman. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to press very lightly with our pencils and draw a small circle. Again, press very lightly because this is the guideline step. Eventually we're going to go in and we're going to erase all of these pencil lines. Inside that small circle, we're going to do a couple curved lines. One going through right about here, and one going through right about here. This will help us later on in the drawing place his facial features. Since his head is turned at a 3/4 view, this is going to be a little bit bigger than this. His nose will be right here and his mouth will be right here. The next step that we're going to do is we're going to draw his body, which is just one big oval. Try to keep everything about this size. So we should have two ovals stacked on top of each other. We're going to go down and we're going to do his feet. We're going to leave a little gap. And we're going to do two more ovals. About this size. One here. And one here. Then we're just going to take a line, draw a line up here connecting this to here. One connecting this to here. One connecting this to here, and one connecting this to here. So right now we have head, body, legs, and feet. The next step, we're going to start working on his arms. So we're going to draw right about here an oval about this size. So leave a gap right between the head shape and this hand shape right there. Then another smaller oval right there. We're using simple shapes to build up our image. We're just going to stack a bunch of circles together, kind of like building a real snowman. After that, we're going to draw another oval over here. And then we're just going to draw a curved line connecting the shoulder to the arm. Head, body, hand, forearm, shoulder. Next part over here is we're going to draw an oval here about this size, an oval here about this size, and a circle right at top. We're going to try to keep these two circles about the same size as this one that we did over here, because this is the other hand. Again, an oval here, another oval here, and a circle right there. Now, I understand I go a little fast, but the good thing about this being on YouTube is that if I am going too fast, you can pause it, you can rewind the video, you can do anything you need to do to catch up. All my player 2s all work at different speeds, and it's okay if you're a little bit behind. The next step we're going to do right here, we're just going to draw a little line connecting this piece to here, so that way we have his entire arm. And then we're going to draw a square, and then a small skinny rectangle right there for Frosty's pipe. Starting right about where this line is, we're going to draw an ovalish shape, not draw all the way through, so just kind of like a half circle, and then a square at the top right there. If it helps to draw the full shapes, it's called drawing through, so you can press, again, very lightly with your pencil so you don't have a mess of lines and get confused later on. You can draw right through there and piece that there. The same thing with the oval right here. You can draw right through there just to kind of indicate where your image is going to go. But we're going to start adding a little bit of detail here. We're going to press a little bit harder with our pencils just so we can tell the lines apart, but not too hard, because eventually, as I said, we're going to go in and we're going to erase these lines. So the first thing we're going to do right here, where these two lines intersect, we're going to draw a circle. Inside that circle, we're going to draw a little curve and a little curved line here. So something like that. Right about where this line is, we're going to draw a letter U, and then we're going to draw a curve slightly beneath the nose, going right to about here where this line meets, right there for his mouth. Underneath that, right about here where my pencil is, we're going to draw another letter U. So you can see the image is starting to come together. It's his nose, his mouth right there is his facial features. Now we're going to draw the eyes. One oval here. Another oval here. Again, this oval will be slightly smaller. And inside the ovals, two smaller ovals. So there we have Frosty's face. We're going to start adding some finishing touches here, a little bit of detail on the fingers to finish up the hands, and we're going to add a little bit of detail to the hats before we actually go to the final stage, the finishing stage, where we take our black felt tip pen or black magic marker and we ink over the entire image. So the first thing I'm going to do here, we have our guideline right here. This would be where the curve of the hat would be, the curve of the brim of the hat. So we're going to draw a U, curve it down here along where our guideline is here, and then we're going to follow that here. So we should have something like that. The top of the hat, instead of a straight line, we're just going to add a little curve as opposed to our square shape that we did. And then we're going to bring the lines down a little bit. And inside we're going to follow the same thing that we did with the curve here. We're going to put that in there for the little stripe on Frosty's hat. I'm just going to go over this to make this a little bit clearer for my player 2. So this would be his head shape. We're going to do his hands. He has 3 fingers, so we're going to draw one curve, 2 curves inside the hand right there. And then we're just going to go over, bring that to here, we're going to go over here, and then we're just going to trace over this, which would be his thumb. When we finish inking this part over, all these separate shapes will become one large shape, and then when we erase all our pencil lines, you'll see that these won't be here. So then we'll have a fully formed hand and forearm. We're going to do the same thing over here with his other hand. We're going to do one curve, two curves, three curves inside of the original circle that we did there. We're going to bring this up to here, go over the pipe. Again, we're just following our guidelines here. We're going to do a slight little curve inside that circle that we did here. And then we're just going to kind of close this off so we have one shape here. This is probably the most difficult part of this whole image. So I'm going to erase the guidelines that we did right here just to give you a better idea of what the actual finished hand looks like. So we won't have this connecting piece right here. So we would have our three curves holding his pipe. This little part right here, which would be kind of indicating the meat of his hand. His thumb right here holding the pipe, which is covered by the pipe itself. And then we have the forearm. We'll go over the body shape. Again, this is going to turn into pretty much one shape. So when we do our finishing stage and ink over the whole image, it's going to be one pretty much continuous line. We'll go over the feet. We're going to add a little curve right here because this foot is kind of turned towards us. So it's just going to indicate that his foot is flat at this spot. And then here. So player twos, we have just finished the guideline stuff of Frosty. We have all our details put in. Now all we need to do is grab our black felt tip pen or black magic marker and we're going to ink over the whole image. But we're only going to go over the lines that we need. So the guidelines and stuff that we're going to erase, we don't ink over those because once we finish with this, when we ink those disappear, we get a complete finished image. So I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to start with the details inside of the face. So we've got our little U there. Mouth. Again, I'm going to go kind of fast, player twos, because we've already done the drawing. All we're doing is finishing it up. But sometimes it is better to take our time just to make sure that we don't make mistakes. Because if we miss a spot and don't ink it over and then erase the entire image, we won't have that piece anymore. So you're going to have to go back in and redraw, or whatever you need to do to correct your mistakes. There's all the details of the face. Here is Frosty's head. I'm going to go over the hat. Again, the top of the curve right here. A little curve inside the hat. And then I'm going to do the thumb. I'm going to draw the little curves inside of here. The rest of the hand. The arm, we're just going to go a little bit over there. We're not going to cover the whole image right there. And then we're going to do one continuous shape, for here. Feet, legs, body, and we're going to bring that all the way up to there. Next, I'm going to go over the curves. 1, 2, 3 for the hand. A little curve right there for the meat of his hand. His pipe. And finish the arm. And there we go, player twos. We've all just drawn Frosty. Give it a couple minutes for the ink to dry, and then take your eraser and erase all the pencil lines. If you press lightly with your pencils, it should be very easy. You don't have to worry about ripping the paper or smearing any pencil. And there you go. We have just drawn Frosty the Snowman. Happy holidays, player twos.
Days Before Christmas is a 2D platformer developed by Funcom and published by Sunsoft in 1994 for the Mega Drive and Super Nintendo systems. This title was only released in Europe and Australia, and that's a shame because it's actually a pretty good game. Players control Santa Claus through 24 levels of platforming action as he attempts to retrieve all of his stolen presents from an assortment of villainous characters. Santa has some Christmas magic at his disposal, which he can use to turn his adversaries into harmless Christmas presents. This same magic can also be used to open these presents, which contain a variety of surprises, such as captured elves or bombs. Santa's hit meter is represented by Santa hats at the top of the screen. Anytime he takes a hit, he loses a hat, and when all of his hats are gone, Santa loses a life. When Santa drinks a cup of tea, he transforms into his evil twin, Anti-Claus. As Anti-Claus, Santa is invincible, but unable to use his magic or open presents. Instead, Anti-Claus can attack enemies by swinging his bag of gifts at them. At several points in this game, players are treated to a bonus level in which Santa flies his sleigh and drops presents down chimneys. The graphics for this game are pretty good for the time period it was released, and there are a few nice holiday touches throughout the game. The stage select is set up like an advent calendar, and the title cards at the beginning of the levels are very well done. Days Before Christmas doesn't break any new ground as a platformer, but the tight controls and colorful graphics make this game a pleasant surprise. Unfortunately, this game has not been ported to any modern consoles, so the only way to play this is to get your hands on the original game. If you do get the opportunity to play this underrated gem, I highly recommend giving it a shot. You won't be disappointed. Till next time.
And that's a wrap on another edition of Rob's Arcade. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video to help this channel grow. Also be sure to follow Rob's Arcade at the social media links listed in the description below. Now, as far as the next episode goes, Star Wars fans are going to love this because we're going to spend some time with a classic Star Wars character that is getting his own show on Disney+. I myself can't wait to show my player 2 what I have in store for you all. Until then, keep drawing, and I'll see you all next time at Rob's Arcade.